Once again, welcome back to the show. Last week we had reached party number 7, whereby Sardar Harbans Singh Kandola had emphasized that the Guru Nanak's message is to live a good life, and that means being a good human being. And that is only possible if we have those divine qualities. We might do lots of rituals, we might go to tirths, we might do lots of things, but that is useless. Guru Nanak Sahib says, only thing useful is in your life is to have that divine wisdom. And that is what in the bodies of Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Sahib emphasizes. Let's continue on the spiritual journey and let's welcome Sardar Harbans Singh Kandola, who will take us on this path of enlightenment. Ji Anu ji, Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. So Kandola Sahib, like last week what we had discussed was, and you were emphasizing in party number 6 and 7, that you might have all the powers of the world, you might be living for ages, but that is immaterial. That doesn't make any sense according to Guru Nanak's philosophy. The only thing which matters is the divine wisdom which you have acquired and how you are trying to incorporate that into your daily life. So we had reached till party number 7 last time, and further what Guru Sahib tells us in party number 7, if you could emphasize.
Guru Sahib, we started with the Jejuk charge. Even if you live forever, if you become powerful, and Jetis nadra na aave. Guru says, in the spiritual world, in the house of Nanak, you are worthless, you are a walking corpse. And Kartut Pashuki?
Manas
Jat. You are human by appearance, but your actions are of animal behavior. You never get the bliss and the happiness. Enlightened Nanak says, Nanak nirgun gun kare. O modern man, God is treasures of virtues and all goodness. Grace of God showers on everybody all the time.
Right.
And you can make a U-turn even now and begin to walk on the spiritual path, internalize divine wisdom, become a man of higher consciousness, enjoy bliss, ecstasy, gunvantya gunde. The beauty of this is treasure of virtues are limitless.
Right.
A man, you seek more, you get even more. And Teha ko na sujje. Guru says the only source of bliss and inner peace is the divine wisdom, universal truth.
Right.
There's no other way. And now we finish with this party 7 here. Harpreet, now we start party 8 to 11. And the subject of party, the theme is the same of party 8 to 11. The theme is Guru Nanak talks about party 8 to 11 is positive spiritual changes. The transformation of consciousness happens by listening, understanding, internalizing, and living the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. The positive changes which Guru are talking about here.
Right.
Guru says party 8. Suniye, pause. Suniye,
right.
Siddh Peer Suranath. Metaphors are using the metaphors. We will explain that. Suniye tartavale akash. Suniye deep lo patal. Suniye po na sakke kal. Nanak bhaktan sada vigar. Suniye dup afka nath. This is the common for the whole 4 parties. Understand the word suniye. Suniye is those who have listened, who have understood, who have internalized and lived the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, not the rituals which we were talking about. And what kind of transformation in consciousness in a daily life happens, Guru Sahib? What positive changes in your life will happen if you suniye? Okay, suniye what we have defined. Those who have understood, internalized, chosen the way of surrender, the will of God, suniye doof kaaf ka nash. The worries, the sorrow, the stress, the fear, anxieties are destroyed and eliminated. I was thinking when I discussed this, talked about this, I was thinking, are really the worries, the anxiety, the fear, stress, depression really go away? And bliss and inner peace and happiness comes? From my own experience, I can say it's absolutely yes. And peace and calmness for 20 hours, 24 hours, you can achieve by suniye.
Right.
But we define that. It is only possible through listening to the Guru.
Ji. But here again, Kandola Sahib, if you could emphasize and tell us that, like, for example, just by listening, this is also being propagated right now in our community.
Yes.
We have different kinds of camps also whereby people say, just come assemble and listen to the Gurbani and all your worries will just fly away. Well, listening is just listening or internalizing, like you mentioned, because I want to clarify this particular thing.
The Suniya has been defined. Listen,
Yeah.
understand,
Internalize.
No, not only internalize, live it.
Absolutely.
Living it.
Right.
What Guru says, then only the transformation will happen.
It's not just by listening and we think that if we
No.
sit in a Gurdwara and something, we are listening
No.
to Gurbani, all our worries will just run away. As you have said, this is what is being propagated in some sectors right now, and people in droves are going to these kind of camps whereby they tell them, come, close your eyes, speak these lines, and then all your worries will be finished. Even your physical ailments will be completely cured of.
Harbiji, I was discussing yesterday, I was looking through this.
Ji.
One thing came to my mind of analyzing two things.
Ji.
One is Gurbani should be interpreted relevant to daily life.
That's right.
Change in your behavior.
Yeah.
Gurbani speaks to your mind.
Ji.
So those two things, unless we interpret the Gurbani in that way, we will never do justice to the interpretation. Simply suniye, it's a matter of changing your behavior.
That's right.
Unless you do that, nothing else matters.
Well, absolutely. Like, for example, Harbans and Kandola ji, you give me some advice. You have done the part, I have listened to it. But if I don't follow that,
Yeah.
what use is that advice to me?
Well, rituals means nothing. Gurbani is totally, we will talk about next Paudiyan,
Ji.
where Guruji totally, as I mentioned before, Guruji is hit hard on Tirathnawa, right?
That's right.
Guruji is hit hard, but we unfortunately still falling. That's why we don't enjoy that peace,
Bliss, what the Bani
we
talks
were
about.
talking about.
Yeah.
Guru Sahib says, Suniye Siddh Peer Suranat. It's a metaphor is used here. Siddh is a yogi,
Ji.
enlightened one, a person of higher consciousness, which is the Mahan Kosh, you can, that's it. Peer is a pious person, is Islamic
Ji.
word. Suranat means spiritually elevated, knowledgeable, Gyani.
Ji.
By listening, internalizing, and living the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, you become spiritually awakened, person of higher consciousness, pious, virtuous, knowledgeable, what is right and what is wrong.
Ji.
You can learn that. Suniye tartataval akash. Suniye deep lo patal. Professor Saab Singh, as we talked about the interpretation
Ji.
Of Gurbani, Professor Saab Singh has interpreted these lines, Suniye tartaval akash, Suniye deep lo patal, is by listening, internalizing the teachings, we understand that everything happens according to the laws of nature, the will of God.
Right.
God is immersed in the universe, submit to the will of God. Siknu pana mannan di jaaj aa jandi hai.
Ji.
Live according to the laws of nature and will of God. This can also be, as we were talk about interpretation,
Ji.
this is logical, but this can also be interpreted in a way. Gurbani Harpiji is a poetic form.
Yeah.
And we have to really pay attention to that. And literal interpretation is meaningless of Gurbani, especially for the youth of today. We understand the essence. We should try to understand the essence of poetic form.
Ji.
Just different readers can interpret it differently. But the 21st century, I believe that the youth of today want logic,
Ji.
reason, scientific, irrelevant to the daily life, and it speak to your mind.
Ji.
And it should promote peace, harmony, which logic create better world.
Ji.
Otherwise, the message will be lost, and the youth of today are not going to accept it.
Ji.
Suniye tartaval akash. We can also interpret tart has been metaphorically used in Gurbani many places to signify tolerance and patience.
Ji.
Okay. Tawal, selfless service to others.
Ji.
Akash, equality, love for all. So we can also logically interpret this as by listening, internalizing, we attain tolerance, peace, sharing, compassion, equality, and harmony. You can do the interpretation, but let the listener, the seeker, get
the basic essence,
find themselves.
That's right.
What it means to me in a daily life.
Very true, because interpretation is different for everyone. It's based on your experience, your education, your circumstances.
Yes.
But the essence, if you know the essence, then you can start working on that journey. Because as we said in the beginning also, don't consider this to be a firm stamp that this is the only thing.
No.
Well, this is just a way, and then you have to follow that path. It is your own will or own way how you go into it.
Also, let the seeker decide what it means to me in my life, what it means to in my life.
That's
let them find themselves the religion, the spirituality. Again, Guru Sahib कहते हैं सुनिए पो न सका काल. According to Nanak's spiritual philosophy, आँखा जीवा विसरे मर जाओ. Physically, we all die, but Guru in Gurbani is talking about Atmak Maut, conscious death. When there is a separation, we face the conscious death. When we have hate for someone, jealousy, cheating, hurting, and this is a conscious death according to Gurbani.
That's right.
Okay. Purna Sakyakal, spiritually awakened person has a bliss, inner peace, pure joy, and 24 hours they do not die a conscious death. This means Purna Sakya Kal. Doesn't mean you're not going to die.
Right.
But Guru talking about your, as we mentioned, consciousness. In the whole Gurbani, we're talking about consciousness.
That's right.
Not the physical death. Nanak Bhaktan Sada Vigas, Suniye Dup Kaap Ka Noise. Guru Sahib कहते ने Gurbani, Dukh Sukh de Kapde Pehre Jaye Sri. Living in this world, we naturally to face good times and bad times. This is the way the world is. And bad times, those who are awakened, they don't get depressed in bad times. Learn to live according to the laws of nature, the will of God. Live, which we call living in the present. And good time, you not become egoistic.
Right.
You know, no stress, fear, depression, and all that. That time. Now we're starting Pauri, this is Pauri 8.
We'll start off this after this break, Ji. What you have mentioned is very true, that whether there are good times or bad times, if we are in that state of equilibrium, if you understand, that's what the Guru is trying to tell us, that don't be in that balance of zigzag. Just control yourself and be in a balanced state of living, and everything will go as he wants. Thank you very much.
According to the will of God.
Absolutely.
Living in the will of God.
So we'll go for a break, जी. एक लेने छोटी सी break. वापस आवांगे तो उस तो बाद 8वीं पाड़ी ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁਣ तक ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈਏ 9ਵੀਂ ਪਾੜੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਣੇ ਇਸ break ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ.